During my son's wedding, my daughter-in-law asked me for the keys to my apartment in front of 130 people. When I said no, she slapped me hard. I silently left the room and made a call. Half an hour later, a man showed up at the entrance, and by the moment everyone recognized him, the guests began to cry. The ballroom sparkled with twinkling lights and lilies, but I felt a weight in my chest I couldn't shake. My son, Ethan, was on stage with his new wife, Juliet. He smiled, but I could see the tension on his shoulders and how his eyes avoided mine. To be honest, I never liked Juliet. There's something about her I can pinpoint. And I'm sure Ethan knows this too. But he was too blinded by love. While the couple moved through the guests, I tried to slip away, but Juliet found me. She glided toward me, her white dress perfect as a cloud, but her eyes sharp as knives. "Aurora, my dear," she said, her voice honeyed, loud enough for nearby tables to hear. "You look beautiful. A little tired, perhaps?" "I'm fine, dear," I replied, gripping my purse. "I just care," she continued, pressing her hand on my arm. "Living alone in an apartment this big must be a lot of work. Ethan, and I thought something smaller would be better for you." There it was, the same thing I thought about, wrapped in a thin layer of concern. My son was behind her, pale. "Mom, Juliet just wants to take care of you," he whispered softly. "Speaking of that," Juliet said, with fake cheer, "I have a small wedding gift request." She stretched out her hand. "May we have your keys? Just to move some things while we look for a permanent place. You know, start our new life." The public request froze the room. The air felt thick. I could feel everyone's eyes on me. If I said yes, I would lose my home. If I said no, I would look like the villain. I looked at Ethan, silently pleading. "Don't do this to me." He stayed silent, staring at the ground. "No, Juliet," I said, voice soft but firm. "The answer is no." Her smile vanished. Rage flickered in her eyes. "What did you just say?" "That apartment is my home," I said. "Not a gift." "Why does a lonely widow need a home?" she hissed. Before I could say anything, she gave me a very hot slap. If you were slapped like that, comment what you would do. And also subscribe to this channel to support us. The sharp sting landed across my cheek. My glasses flew off and shattered. The room fell silent. I felt pain in my chest more than my face. "That's what happens when you're selfish," she shouted. I could barely breathe, not from the slap, but from the look on my son's face. He still didn't say a word, he just stared at the ground. Tears came, but I refused to let her see me break. I picked up my broken glasses and walked out of the hall. Outside, I sat beneath a jasmine tree and pulled out my phone. My hands shook. I had hoped never to make this call, but they left me no choice. "Carlos, this is Aurora. I need you at Royal Oaks Lounge. Immediately. Bring the papers. Everyone needs to know the truth." He didn't ask any questions. Just said, "I'll be there in 20. Minutes passed. The night wrapped around me like a shroud, but with every breath, I felt steadier. Carlos arrived, simple black suit, leather briefcase. His face was calm, but I could see he understood the stakes. We walked back into the ballroom together. The music had resumed, quieter. Guests noticed my absence and murmured. As soon as we stepped in, silence fell. All eyes were on me and Carlos. Juliet froze. Her makeup perfect, her expression twisting. Ethan looked stiff, still silent. Carlos cleared his throat. "My name is Carlos Enriquez," he began. "I'm an attorney with Ballard & Klein, and I represent Ms. Aurora Lima." Murmurs spread. Juliet's face paled. Carlos opened his briefcase, revealing a thick stack of documents. Today was meant to be a celebration. But given what transpired, Ms. Lima has authorized me to reveal a few important details. I nodded. Let him speak. First, Ms. Lima is not just the owner of the apartment. She owns the entire building, the Lima complex in Brookhill. If you want to hear more stories where courage wins against all odds, hit subscribe to support this channel. She has lived in the penthouse for 27 years. Inherited from her late husband, Armando Lima, a man who built homes, libraries, and medical centers across the city. People began to clap quietly, respect growing. Juliet looked like she might faint. Carlos continued. In her will, updated last year, Ms. Lima granted Ethan a 40% share of rental profits if he chooses to remain in her life with integrity. Ethan's jaw dropped. He looked confused. Carlos flipped a page. However, Clause 7b states that if Ethan or any spouse of his ever attempts to force, coerce, or manipulate Ms. Lima into transferring property under duress, all inheritance rights are nullified. He turned to Juliet. Ms. Lima has activated Clause 7b effective immediately. You could hear a pin drop. I will also file a cease and desist against Juliet Prescott, now Juliet Lima, for harassment and public assault. Juliet laughed, sharp and broken. This is insane. You're just doing this because I embarrassed you. You're bitter and jealous. No, I said, stepping forward. I'm doing this because kindness has limits. Tonight, you crossed everyone. I looked at Ethan. And you stood there while she humiliated me. He swallowed. I didn't know what to do. That's the problem, I said. When people don't know what to do, they default to silence. Silence is complicity. Then, I revealed Juliet's failed scheme. The emails she sent, her plans to manipulate contracts, even her attempts to hide the truth from our lawyer. People gasped. Whispers filled the room. Her plan had completely unraveled, right in front of everyone. I stepped back, letting the truth breathe. Some guests quietly nodded. A few older women whispered their approval. Someone had recorded the slap, the speech, and Carlos's announcement. Comments poured in. Most were on my side. Some angry. Some confused. One struck me. It was from a woman named Dina, who wrote, "My mother gave everything to please people. Died in a nursing home no one visited. I wish she'd stood up the way you did." I cried quietly. Ethan came to my apartment later. I left her, he said softly. I nodded. Good. You saw the truth. He asked if we could start over. Not as business partners, not as landlord and heir, but as mother and son. It took time, but we began healing with honesty. Juliet tried to fight the cease and desist. Failed. She posted a video painting herself as a victim. It flopped. And me? I sold the building. Bought a smaller home near the ocean. Started volunteering at a women's shelter, helping older women facing pressure from family. The message was simple. Your peace is not a luxury. It's your right. People who love you should protect it, not threaten it. So, if you've ever felt pushed, manipulated, or made small for saying no, remember, you don't owe anyone your home, money, or dignity. Stand up for yourself, even if it's scary. Sometimes, standing up teaches everyone else how to stand up too. And I still wonder, will Juliet ever really learn that control isn't love? If you like this story and want more like it, subscribe to follow along. You won't want to miss the next story that proves courage can change everything.